Hey, how y'all doing? It's Craig here again. Finally warmed up a little bit. Not raining outside, not cold. We've had like 7 days of rain. Before that, we had weeks of cold, snow, some sub-zero weather. It's finally starting to warm up. It's March the 31st. Uh, Probably right now it's about 6 o'clock in the evening. And it's probably still about 45 degrees outside, maybe just a little bit warmer. But anyway, trying to get this MS440 clone from Huztl finished up. Got the cylinder back. I made another video about where I had to have 63 thousandths, or excuse me, 53 thousandths taken off of the base of the cylinder to get the squish down to between 20 and 22 thousandths. But I've got a little kind of a fix for an issue that a lot of you guys are probably having on these saws when it comes to putting the heavy spring for the chain brake assembly onto the mechanism. I think I've devised a fairly easy method to do this. So I'm going to show you what my fix to this issue is. Most of you probably have what it's going to take to do this, and I actually fabricated a little hook tool. So I'll show you what I've done. I'll explain how I've done it, and then we'll put it on, let you see how easy it is. So I'll get you readjusted here. There's the saw. Okay, I had some 3/16 rod. This is just regular, I believe this is stainless. In the corner of the barn here. What I done was took and ground this end off, and you can see the step. I don't know how much I ground it off. I just ground it down to what I thought would work. Ground a little point onto it. And then I took and bent it over. Made a hook on it. And then I took and bent this end here and made a little pull handle. It's probably, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 inches overall length from this tip to there. But that was relatively easy to make with the bench grinder. This is the spring that I'm talking about putting on. This is a heavy spring. It's got a lot of stiffness to it, and it can be rather hard to install if you don't have the proper tools. This is my fix to get around buying the proper tools. Huztl does sell a spring installer for a couple bucks, but it's still not that easy of a job to put on, because as you got the saw laying here, you've got the spring hooked here. This is the back mounting post. So the spring hooks onto that. Then you got to stretch the spring from this location right here and get it over this hook in this knee joint. This is called a knee joint right there. You got to get it over there and back in that little saddle area. See the little, the little saddle area right there? The end of this spring has to go into that saddle area. And it can be rather difficult to get in there with just one person while you're trying to pull it and hold it, especially with the dog spikes on it. Even without the dog spikes, it's hard. So my fix and my remedy to this is just a little 12-inch bar clamp, quick release, that I bought from Harbor Freight. I think they were less than $5. They wasn't too awfully expensive. So what I do is I clamp it onto the end of my bench, tighten it down, just good and snug. Take the saw, put this into the handle over the rubber cushioned handle on this clamp. Now I've got a good sturdy pole that I can pull against. I'm going to readjust the camera here. Sorry about that, guys. As you can see, here's the spring. I'm going to lay right in there just like so. I'm going to take my homemade tool here. I'm going to hook it right onto the spring just like so. Oh, sorry about that. As I'm pulling on this, now I can pull against the spring and stretch it. And I'm just going to put this hook right into that saddle. Okay, now it's not all the way in. I don't know if you can see how that's still sticking up just a little bit. But now what I'll do is I can take my needle nose pliers. Sorry about all the shakiness there, guys. I'm moving the tripod with the camera attached to it. Take my needle nose pliers. Now it might not be all the way or down far enough. It looks like it's just on the very top. There it went. Did you hear it snap? That spring is now seated in that saddle. See if we can't get you a good picture of it here. It's seated in this saddle right here. And it's also seated on this back post. And that's how easy that is to install that spring using this method. Take it up off there. Works as it should. Remember, this here goes on. It's kind of got like the little recess on that goes to the bottom. The inset goes to the top. Sits right down over. I had that applied, so I unapplied it or took it off so I can get my clutch drum down in it. Up. As you can see here, and then if I was to set it, I can't turn that, take it off. And there you go. That is my fix and my engineering capabilities. It's very, very limited on how I made a tool to make it easier to put them springs in. This is a little addendum I'm going to put right onto the end of this. I misspoke. I don't know if you can see this, but I was telling you guys to put this on wrong. I should have known better, but it's marked top right there. This actually goes up. The step goes up. The inset goes down. The inset goes up against the worm gear for the oil pump drive. And then the clutch spins on. Then your clutch drum can go on. Actually the needle cage bearing, then your clutch drum can go on. And then also make sure, I didn't do it, but your oil pump drive Make sure that it sits into the slot in your drum. There's a little slot cut right there. I lost it here. This is the drive arm for your oil pump right here. And it'll go into this slot right there. And that's what drives your oil pump. So this oil pump's driven off the clutch. Once the chain's turning, it'll start oiling. If the chain's not spinning, it won't oil. Okay. I hope you enjoyed all that. Hope that clears up some things up, because I know some of you were saying, oh, that's wrong. So I caught myself. So again, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video.